morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and welcome to Global Atheist News Roundup, dateline at 22nd of July 2023. This week's headlines. Afghanistan women protest against the beauty salon closures. The QAnon Shaman regrets repenting. A father interrupts drag story hour, calling it men dressed as prostitutes reading filth to children. Big W removes a sex education book from its shelves after staff members were abused. Texas Baptists affirm women in ministerial roles as the SBC debate moves to the states. Christian creators design chatbots with a biblical worldview. Fort Worth faces legal battle over censorship claims by atheist organization. Church of England schools are teaching the pyramid of white supremacy theory. Religious selection in English schools is challenged in Parliament. Women in Afghanistan have held a rare protest against the Taliban's decision to shut female beauty parlours and salons. Women shouted, "Work, bread and justice," while they gathered in the capital city, Kabul. Taliban guards responded with water cannons, and some protesters said stun guns were also used against them. Around 50 women took part in the protest on Wednesday, according to the AFP news agency. The Taliban have given businesses 1 month from the 2nd of July to close thousands of beauty salons across the country. They said the wearing of wigs and the practice of eyebrow plucking were against Islamic values, and parents were wasting money on beauty parlours when couples got married. See this video. A growing number of Capitol rioters have gone back on their guilty pleas and apologies, including one of the most recognizable faces from the 6th of January. Standing in the court, Jacob Angeli Chansley, known as Jake Angeli, seemed like a changed man. Shorn of the horned headdress, furs, and face paint that helped earn him the nickname the QAnon Shaman, he was pleading guilty to obstructing an official proceeding. The charge stemmed from his part interrupting a joint session of Congress and carried a maximum prison sentence term of 20 years. "I am truly, truly repentant for my actions, because repentance is not just saying you're sorry," he said. "Repentance is apologizing and then moving in the exact opposite direction of the sin that you committed. In retrospect, I would do everything differently on January the 6th. The judge called that apology the most remarkable I've heard in 34 years and sentenced him to 41 months in prison, considerably less than the maximum allowed. Now, more than a year and a half later, Angeli is out of jail early and his remorse is gone. "Regrets only weigh down the mind," he told the BBC. "They're like sandbags on a hot air balloon." A father interrupted drag story hour for children, calling it Men dressed as prostitutes reading filth to children. See this video.
You ready to go?
Excuse me. Sorry.
This is a disgrace. You're morally wrong. This is wrong. Drag queen story time for children.
Reading stories to children.
Wrong. Margot, give me that there.
Yeah.
Lads, this is absolutely disgraceful. We have kids, men dressed as prostitutes, reading filth to children. What's this all about, lads? We can't. Hi, how's it going? Lads, we can't stand for this. Drag queen story time. People are giving out about it in America. It's not welcome in Ireland. Look at all these people here, lads. They're in protection of grooming. Right.
We're not here to cause. We're just trying to make people aware.
This is a piece. Look at this, lads. All around. Look what they have. They're protecting grooming going on in Tralee. There's grooming going on in Tralee. Yeah. No, I won't. This is a public library. We are members of the public.
This is an event. This is an event. The children's event.
Oh, don't be touching me. Hey, Steve, can you record this? Where are you, Steve? Jeez. All right. No, we're not going. We have every right to be here. We've been asked to leave, and we refuse to leave. You can call the Gardaí all you want. What should be called in the Gardaí is this grooming going on for children. How dare they? This is grooming. Why do you have men dressed as women? They're not even dressed as women. They're dressed as prostitutes. Right? Excuse me. What's insulting is what you're doing to these kids here. Come on, push me out now. Push me out. Push me out. Come on, push me out. You're trying to manhandle me. Well, good luck to that. Good luck to that. Here we are, lads. Right, if you put that on my face, I'm going to have to protect myself. All right, because this umbrella, you disgust me. You disgust me. You disgust me. Now, I want to be a proper woman here. What you're doing, you should be protecting children, not teaching them this filth. Right?
Welcome to Sex, a book co-authored by the former Dolly doctor and adolescent health expert Dr. Melissa Kang and feminist writer Yumi Steins, is the fourth book in a series on topics such as consent and menstruation. The publisher of the Sex, Education and Consent book aimed at adolescents has defended the title after it was taken off the shelves of Big W stores amid backlash from conservative campaigners. Big W announced that it has stripped Welcome to Sex from its shelves and moved sales to online only after staff members were abused. A spokesperson said, Big W will continue to sell the parenting book Welcome to Sex as part of our parenting range. We know there has been a wide range of views about this book. However, it's disappointing that there have been multiple incidents of abuse directed at our store team members in the past 24 hours. To keep our team and customers safe, the book will now only be available online. Women's Forum Australia, a self-described think tank that focuses on anti-trans campaigning, has led the push to have the book banned from stores and libraries. Rachel Wong, the think tank's chief executive, said on radio that the problem with the book was that it was teaching sex to children. A month after Southern Baptist confirmed the expulsion of churches from their denomination for allowing women to serve as pastors, the Baptist General Convention of Texas adopted a statement on Tuesday, July the 18th, urging its staff to continue to affirm women in ministerial and leadership roles. After an hour of debate, the BGCT became the first state convention of Southern Baptists to weigh in on the issue since the annual meeting of the National Southern Baptist Convention in June, when 2 churches with women pastors, including California's Saddleback Church, lost appeals to be reinstated. At that meeting, Baptists took the first step toward amending the SBC Constitution to state that only men can be pastors. A second vote to adopt the amendment is required at the 2024 meeting for the change to take effect. With the release of ChatGPT, Gull Branson, the former computer science student turned finance intern, saw an opportunity to build the resource he wished he'd had as a young evangelical Christian in Minnesota. About 3 months ago, Gull Branson, 23, started work on BibleMate.io, a Christian ChatGPT, to help interrogative minds who are looking for biblical answers to life's difficult questions. The big difference from ChatGPT is that it's a model grounded in a biblical and theological view of the world, Gull Branson said about his version of the chatbot, which relies on an ever-growing database of sermons, books, and academic articles to inform the answers it offers. The launch of ChatGPT in November 22 by the research laboratory OpenAI has spurred both excitement and trepidation among Christians, forcing existential questions on the level of what it means to be human, along with ethical dilemmas such as how much is too much help from a chatbot when writing a sermon? What about leading a whole worship service, like a ChatGPT avatar did in early June at a Lutheran church in Germany? Gull Branson sees a number of uses for BibleMate.io in a church context, for pastors doing sermon research, for church volunteers drafting a Bible study guide, for curious teens like he once was who wanted to go deeper in youth group. But he also hopes non-Christians would use the chatbot for their questions about God. He pointed to one of his favorite features, the "Explain it to me like I'm 5" tool. You type a hard-to-understand theological concept, and it would dumb it down and explain it the way you would to a 5-year-old kid, he said. The goal is to give responses rooted in unwavering biblical truth, citing William Lane Craig and C.S. Lewis as well-respected scholarly sources. Of course, Gull Branson acknowledged not every Christian agrees on just what is biblical truth. For example, he explained, on a question such as whether Christians should speak in tongues, the chatbot should pull out what the scriptures say and then offer perspectives from different denominations. Gull Branson wants BibleMate.io to give politically neutral responses on topics where Christians often don't see eye to eye, such as same-sex marriage or LGBTQ ordination. Metroplex Atheists, a Texas-based non-profit advocating for the separation of church and state, filed a federal lawsuit against the city of Fort Worth, Texas, after being denied the right to hang banners promoting an event against Christian nationalism. The group argues the rejection was discrimination and a violation of free speech. In May, the city manager's office denied Metroplex Atheists' application to display advertisements on the city lampposts from August the 8th to the 22nd, and Assistant City Manager William Johnson declared the event non-compliant with the city's public banner policy because it was not of a magnitude to qualify. Since 1998, the city has allocated free advertisement spots to non-profits to promote their organization or any events as long as they are open to the public, of common interest to the general community, and held in Fort Worth. The event planned for August 26 at the Botanic Garden, the Metroplex Atheist event, is intended to highlight what the group sees as the dangers of Christian nationalism and to argue that prayer should be kept out of public schools. Guests include Bradley Onishi, a religion scholar and author of the book Preparing for War, The Extremist History of White Christian Nationalism and What Comes Next, and the Reverend Katie Hayes from the nearby Galileo Church. Free speech is free speech, whether or not the government likes that speech or certain members of the community object to it, said Jeffrey T. Blackwell, the author of the complaint and a legal counsel for American atheists. An investigation into anti-racist third-party organizations has found that some Church of England schools have issued the Pyramid of White Supremacy theory model to educators, raising major concerns about the propagation of critical race theory in such an ancient institution. Last week, Don't Divide Us, DDU, an organisation set up to take a stand against the UK's divisive obsession with people's racial identity, released a report focused on third-party organisations promoting radical political beliefs in schools. It said that 48 third-party organisations working in English schools promoted CRT as fact. However, the report author, as well as Christian clergy, expressed major concern to the Epoch Times at how such a traditional ancient institution as the Church of England is embracing the disputed ideology, CRT, as fact across its schools. They also examined why they believe this has happened. Parliamentarians have spoken out against state schools which religiously discriminate against children in their admissions. Baroness Lorelei Burt today asked Schools Minister Baroness Diana Baran if she agreed that all children, irrespective of faith and belief background, should have equal right to access schools funded by taxpayers' money. Faith schools in England have exemptions from the Equality Act 2010, which enable them to prioritise children from families who share their faith if they are oversubscribed. This can include requiring parents and children to regularly attend a local place of worship or provide evidence of baptism. Many parents find that because they belong to no religion or a minority religion, they are unable to send their children to their local school. Burt told peers that children of non-religious families experience double discrimination because approximately 40% of all faith schools and 60% of Catholic schools give priority to children of families of any religion against those of no religion. She said she is in agreement with the UN Commission on the Rights of the Child, which last month criticised the UK over discrimination in faith schools. Other peers opposed to religious selection pointed out that only 3 other OECD countries, Ireland, Israel, and Estonia, allow state-funded schools to practice faith selection. Stay on this channel to watch Terzi and I interview Faisal Ali, a psychiatrist at an American hospital. We are very pleased to have Faisal on the show. And don't forget to watch Views on the News, the show where our opinionated panel give their views on the items I've just reported about. This has been Global Atheist News. Please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.